Hello, this is Matt on the Moon Lambo channel. To many cryptocurrency holders, it feels like the end of the world, but I assure you, it is not. Things got even more bloody today. Xrp got down to 34 cents at the time that I'm recording this. I mean, it's higher than that now. It's at 35 cents, but it's gotten down to 34 cents. I don't know that the bottom's in, but I'll tell you what, I don't think it's going to matter. I really don't think it's going to matter. This is a video full of nothing but optimism, and it's based on so many reasons. Looking at how humans behave, knowing that historically, when you look at the stock market and crypto also, when markets tank, that's the time to buy. And when people are euphoric and they've got laser eyes and they're talking about their diamond hands, which are actually paper hands, but they think they're diamond hands, when all that's going on, maybe it's a time to sell a little bit. You know, that's what history has shown us. But there's nothing here that is going to make cryptocurrencies cease to exist. And now, mind you, I haven't ever actually crunched the numbers to find out what my average buy-in for XRP is, which is my largest cryptocurrency holding. But just running some quick numbers in my head, I believe that it came out to somewhere around 25 cents. When I started dollar cost averaging in it when the bear market hit 4 years ago, I started purchasing at 55 cents and all the way down, and I actually was able to purchase it as low as 15 cents, but I think it averaged out to about 25 cents. I haven't purchased XRP since October of 2020. My bags are packed, let me assure you. I have to tell you, even if XRP goes down to parity, to where I bought it, so I'm breaking even, or even if it goes below that, I don't care. I'm not going to have an emotional response because none of this volatility matters. None of it. It has nothing to do with long-term viability. It has nothing to do with fundamentals. It's a bunch of people out there who I lovingly call useful idiots who use emotion to determine important financial decisions in their own lives. It's completely absurd. But I've got a message of hope, and I'm telling you again, too, the institutional money out there, they are not behaving like this. They are not saying, oh my gosh, it's going down, and we're an institution, we're a cryptocurrency hedge fund, we better sell all of our cryptocurrency. No, they're not acting like that. Let me assure you, they're buying right now. I got a lot to share with you in this video, but before going further, I do want to be clear, I do not have a financial background of any kind. I am not offering financial advice, and you definitely should not buy or sell anything because of anything I say or write. I'm just an enthusiast who enjoys making YouTube videos about crypto-related topics, but just as a hobby and just for fun. Now, as stated a moment ago, as I record this, XRP's at 35 cents, but it was down to, as you can see on the screen here, 24-hour low, 34 cents, which happened just shortly before me recording this video. Bitcoin, as I record, is at $26,901, not far from the 24-hour low, which also recently happened. Well, it's almost like the market moves in tandem, and none of this actually matters. 24-hour low for Bitcoin, $26,786. Market cap for the asset class down to $1.1 trillion. You know, most of the time I've run this channel, which I launched in the middle of December 2018, market cap for the asset class like 150 billion. I was saying, now one day, folks, I don't know when it's going to happen, but one day the asset class is going to be worth over $1 trillion. It's going to be amazing. And now here it is, down to 1.1 trillion, and everybody's panicking. I'm like, time frames, people, time frames. And you got Bitcoin dominance here at 43.79%. So there's been a little bit of a boost up, but man, there's been some serious shakeouts recently. Here's a crypto fear and greed index at 12 out of 100. It's about what you'd expect. Anywhere down here is what you'd expect for a mass sell-off like this, and it's bad. But understand that crypto, since the reason that this is dropping has pretty much nothing to do with fundamentals. Yeah, you could talk about the Terra UST thing, which I have talked about. I'm not getting into it in this video. That's a contributing factor, but even that, what set that off in all likelihood was the fact that crypto was dropping because equities were dropping. Here's the Dow Jones on your screen. Down again. Look at this chart. Like, crypto follows equities. It doesn't matter. Do you think? Because think about this. If you're actually worried are you going to lose everything? Well, do you think that the American economy is going to cease to exist? If your answer is yes, then it's time to panic. I don't think that's going to happen. Not for a moment do I think that's going to happen. If you don't need your investments right now, the money, whatever it is, even if it's worth less than it was a week ago or a month ago or whatever, if you don't need that anytime soon, it doesn't matter. We know that history shows that despite massive drops, and there have been many in the last 100 years in the stock market, the last 13 years in crypto, if it doesn't matter, they always bounce back. And so as long as you don't need the money right now, like you should be fine. As long as you're gainfully employed, and I know that could be more troublesome as the economy continues to sour, but assuming you've got a source of income and if you're not retired, what functionally does it matter? Because think about this: the people that should be worrying right now, and I would be like, yeah, that's a bit concerning right now, is if you were counting on taking a certain amount out every single month just for your lifestyle. Like if you're an actual retired person, you've got your nest egg, and now it's worth a lot less than it was, but you're counting on that for your daily expenses. Well, even then, it's not necessarily the end of the world, because even if you're retiring, you're retired and you're entirely relying on that for all of your expenses, it's not going to stay down here forever. You know, at some point there's going to be a bounce back, and in fact for crypto, perhaps sooner than later. But there's a lot of other stuff going on in the world that's prompting this. It's not like there's something fundamentally wrong with crypto all of a sudden. Crypto is moving, like I said, with equities, and it's in response to all the terrible nonsense that's going on a macro scale the world over, and certainly in the United States where I live. Look at this tweet from Bitcoin maximalist Anthony Pompliano. The price of eating food at home is up 10.8% over the last 12 months. This is completely unsustainable for the average American family. That's his tweet, and he's right. And so think about this. The Fed has already raised interest rates twice this year. You know, the first time it was a quarter point, that the last time, which was very recent, within the last, I can't forget how all the days blur together, it's in the last couple weeks, whatever it was. That was half a point right there, and there's going to be more coming. So maybe it's the right thing to do, probably is, but you understand what that does. Of course, as you raise interest rates, it makes it less attractive to take out loans for anything, which slows down the economy, but that's the point. They're trying to tamp down inflation. That's the point of it, but there are repercussions, and the market's spooked right now. It reminds me so much of March 2020, so much that earlier today I put out this tweet. Just a short bit ago, XRP hit 38 cents. Lots of people selling their fear today. Reminds me of when people panic sold down to 11 cents in March 2020 on pandemic fears. And folks, let me assure you, and I was making videos, you can go back and watch mine, I was saying the same stuff. In March of 2020, that was the end of the world. Oh my gosh, it's never gonna stop falling, except for it did, and then we had outrageous returns after that. XRP from 11 cents to $2, and yes, it's back down now. Who knows, maybe it's gonna be worth less than what I dollar cost average in. I don't care. My bet is that it either goes to zero forever, and this is not a sign that we're in line to do that. This is just spooked markets. So either it's going to go to zero or it's going to be worth an absolute fortune. I think it's a binary bet, and it doesn't matter what we're seeing here in the short term. I am firm on that. And to bring home that point further, which is why you really don't need to be worrying. If you don't need the money today, if you're not counting on it for retirement, and if you're gainfully employed and you've got a check, then I just say, like, don't worry about it. I'm not telling you to buy or sell or hold. You do whatever you want. I don't know your personal situation. I would never assume assume the position of being some sort of financial guru for you. I certainly am not. I'm just a dude on the internet, understand? I'm really good at controlling my emotions because I get this. But again, as long as you're gainfully employed, if you're not retired, what the hell does it matter? You're covering your bills. Eventually this stuff's going to move in another direction. People aren't going to stay in fear forever. But if you think this never goes back up, you're betting on the American economy never rebounding. Stock market's never going up. And then crypto, which follows it as a result, never going up. It's completely absurd. Now, take a look at this tweet from XRP community member Frecky. Now, Frecky has been in crypto since 2011. That's when he first purchased Bitcoin. He actually happens to work in finance. And I ended up having a pretty long conversation with him actually this evening, which was confidential, so I can't share with you the specifics. But part of what was discussed is on your screen. I can tell you that because he made that public, but the rest of it I absolutely cannot be. And that's my stance. Anytime anybody sends me a direct message, unless I get permission, I never do anyway. But in this case, he explicitly said, because there's some big news. So all I can say is this, and it's basically what he was hinting at here in his tweets. things are going to be really good. There's going to be some very big news in the world of crypto coming out. It's going to be so gigantic. And I'll tell you, like, the players behind the scenes, and we are talking on an institutional level, while you are freaking out, these people are literally laughing behind the scenes, thrilled that they have the opportunity to purchase at such incredible levels, low price levels. And it couldn't be better timing for them. And there's going to be something happening on an institutional level soon. And so take a look at this tweet from XRP community member Frecky, whose entire career is in the world of finance, and he's really adept at this stuff, and he understands what's going on in crypto and the bigger picture on a macro scale. Here's what he had to say this afternoon. Just got off the phone with some institutional contacts. I can tell you, institutional are beyond excited about these prices and are loading, especially what's going on into the summer. They are not stopping with products as well. Folks, it's a coming. And as much as I wish I could tell you more about what we were discussing, I can just say this. There's such good cause to be excited, and these prices aren't going to last. In fact, I made a decision actually since the last video, within the last 24 hours, the prices have gotten so low, I decided, I haven't done it yet, but I decided I'm going to purchase more cryptocurrencies. It's not going to be XRP, my bags are packed, let me assure you, but I'm going to be buying some other stuff. I'm going to be so tired by the time I'm done recording stuff this evening that it won't be tonight, but I'm planning on tomorrow. Hopefully the market dips even further. I would love that. I'm going to buy more. I've got some capital set aside. I'm going to disperse, and as long as the market stays down like this, I'm going to keep purchasing. So for me, it's going to look more like a dollar cost average situation, but once things start pumping to the upside, then I'm going to quit purchasing. I'm only going to purchase while people are selling me their fear at a discount. But no, once it goes back up, because I've been on the sidelines for a while, and I'm transparent about that. But because my bags are packed again. But no, at this point, I'm sufficiently enticed. I'm like, okay, I'm getting back in. I mean, at these prices, come on, guys. Come on. Yes, this looks really good. So I'm excited. Like, I'm not losing sleep over this, my friends. Not one little tiny baby boo bit. And you just wait. I don't know exactly what the timing of all this is going to be, but we can only stay down here so long. You know, the stock market will come back. Crypto will come back, however long it takes. And I don't pretend to know. There's a lot of macro stuff at play here. And man, in terms of inflation, we haven't seen anything like this in like whatever it is, 40 years or whatever. Like, inflation's out of control. I understand that there are things that are a little bit different, but so what? It's not going to stay like that forever. Money always has to go somewhere. There's always a bull market somewhere. And in fact, I'm not going to read this article. Look at this headline as well. This comes from Crypto Newsflash. Bitcoin continues to fall. Whales and institutional investors prepare to catch the bottom. Oh, well, color me surprised. Of course that's the case. Now, take a look at this from analyst Plan B. He shared the following with his 1.8 million followers. He's one of the most popular crypto analysts on the entire planet. And I'll make this chart full screen, and here's what he had to say. This is a Bitcoin USD chart. Reason why you are not buying Bitcoin below $30,000 now is the same reason why you did not buy Bitcoin at $4,000 during March 2020 COVID bottom or $3,000 during December 2018 bear market bottom. Fear. Fear that Bitcoin could drop to $20,000. But $3,000, $4,000, $5,000 does not matter now. Nor will $20,000, $30,000, $40,000 in 2 years. Now, folks, I've made that type of point many times on this channel, and it is so true. To people nitpicking over price, but what if it goes a little bit lower? Okay, so if you bought XRP at 11 cents or 15 cents, which is the lowest I bought it, or 20 cents, is it gonna really matter that much? Is it really gonna matter when XRP is worth $10, $20, $30? I mean, I understand the lower you buy, the more it's worth. Yeah, I got it. But seriously, that's such an insane multiplier effect that you're splitting hairs here at some point. You know, and so people are not doing that over the fear. That's the point that he's making. And take a look at this though, and this was really interesting. Here's another chart from Plan B, and he wrote the following: time for some hopium. We have been in the $30,000 to $60,000 range. for 1.5 years now. So of course he's talking about Bitcoin. We've been, again, $30,000 to $60,000 range for 1.5 years now. But the first time we were at $30,000 was December 2020. Bitcoin was overbought. Second time at $30,000, which was July 2021, Bitcoin market was neutral. Now, at $30,000, Bitcoin is oversold like peak COVID fear, March 2020. So there you go. And I talked about this 2 years ago, March 2020. We were oversold. People panicked themselves into oblivion. They decimated themselves. It was clear the markets at some point became oversold. And plan B, his perspective, is that right now, today, markets are oversold and they only dipped further because that was this morning. Markets have only dipped further, so they're that much more oversold. So again, don't pretend to know where the bottom is. It doesn't matter, though. It doesn't freaking matter. Take a look at this from my fellow XRP YouTuber, the Blockchain Backer. He wrote the following. I was wrong about how low these altcoins could go. It saddens me. Getting the tops of Bitcoin and Ethereum aren't enough. I seek perfection, which I'm clearly not. My work defines me. I commit so much time to it. I still hodl, just looks like it'll be longer. And so, nothing but love for the Blockchain Backer. I think he might be being a little bit too hard on himself. He's on the top shelf. He's among the best of chart analysts out there. I gotta say, there's a lot of macro stuff going on that caused equities to tank, and then crypto just followed. So without those types of scenarios, who's to say that he wouldn't have been right on the altcoins anyway? And who says that it's not going to happen anyway? I mean, not that he thinks that, just in terms of the timing, this and that. So maybe things do take longer. But again, that's why my stance is kind of like a so what approach. I will outpatient anyone else because I don't need the investments that I really don't need them. I'm fine. I have sources of income. They'll be worth way more in the future. That's my belief. That's my expectation. And I just go on and live life. That's what seems to make sense to me. Take a look at this. Another tweet from the Blockchain Backer. Whenever I need a nice warm chart hug, here I'll make this full screen. Whenever I need a nice warm chart hug, I get my perspective by going back to the 2017 bull run to reflect on how volatile it was. XLM, that's Stellar Lumens of course, XLM went a little deeper twice during the ride up. Both ultimate buy times. Crypto is one heck of a beast. These are the moments we grow from. Ditto to that, for sure. And then here's a tweet from Love Crypto in which he was stating just a little bit earlier today that he thinks the lows are almost in for 2022 at this point. And he is actually, by the way, one of the individuals that was calling for Bitcoin to go down to, and I mentioned it a day ago. He said he did think at that time there would be at least one more dip to the $26,000 to $27,000 range. And that's about where we are right now. Bitcoin now peaking over 27,000 at the time I'm recording this. But yeah, that's about where we were. And take a look at this tweet here. He was actually calling, this tweet was pegged, January 24th, 2022 from Leb Crypto. I'm not going to read it. It doesn't matter. But he was basically saying that he was expecting Bitcoin to capitulate, if I could say the word capitulate, below $30,000. And this is, I can't remember exactly what Bitcoin was at the time, but the point is that was something that seemed unfathomable to people, but it did happen. And his take is that wave 5 begins after this of the 5-wave structure, which will lead Bitcoin ultimately to a target of $120,000 to $130,000. So he was right again on that. We shall see. Crazy times out there, but I'm telling you folks, the institutional money, they are purchasing if you're selling, they're out there buying. They're happy to purchase your fear. And they are not the least bit concerned about cryptocurrencies ceasing to exist. They are not worried about the asset class going away. And I'm not either. I'm really not. At some point, yes, there's going to be a cleansing where the vast majority of cryptocurrencies in existence go to zero. And if this really is a bear market and this is where everything's crashing right now, okay, maybe, and then a lot of them go away, but the asset class isn't going away. And I'm not saying I think that's going to happen, so don't read into that even. I'm not going to, to me, it doesn't seem like people have a handle on this asset class hardly at all. That's what it looks like to me, so I'd kind of be surprised. But yes, I do think at some point that's going to happen. But right now, again, Would that even be it when it just looks like realistically, crypto's just following the rest of what's happening in the rest of the world, unrelated to crypto? Like I said, with equities. Like, so no, there's no sign that the asset class has just matured to a point where people know where it makes sense to put money in the crypto asset class. I'm not seeing that. I'm seeing crypto following what's happening in other markets unrelated to crypto. That's what's happening. That's pretty clear to see. So it's going to come back, and then this is going to be worth a fortune. It's the same message that I was delivering in March 2020. And I'll keep hammering the point home because I know the lower prices go, and every single day they go lower, the more scared people get. And the more I'm like, I just started to get enticed. Like, I'm the opposite. I'm like, okay, fine, I'm excited now. I'm actually going to, I know I sounded excited there. It's like, no, I'm actually going to deploy capital tomorrow. That's my plan. I'm going to try and make some time to figure out what I'm going to do with it exactly. I have some ideas floating around in my little moon Lambo noggin. But yeah, it's time to throw some money back into this because this is ridiculous. I mean, the opportunity out here, it's hard to understate. So I'll leave it there, though. Hopefully you guys are doing okay, and hopefully this made you feel a little bit better. I can't tell you what makes sense for your personal situation. I would never want to do that anyway. But hopefully it could make you feel a little bit more chill if you're having a little bit of the scares, which is okay. That makes you normal. I'm the weirdo, okay? You're the normal person. I'm super duper weird, not feeling scared about this. So it's okay. You're fine. I'm not a financial advisor. You should not buy or sell anything because of anything that I say or write. That would be a very, very, very bad idea. Until next time, to the moon Lambo.